My family and I have known for years that there are costs to standing up to Donald Trump, but we couldn't imagine ourselves living any other way. We will not live on our knees, and you shouldn't either. My heart is broken for the Department of Justice, but I have great confidence in the federal judicial system, and I'm innocent. So let's have a trial and keep the faith.
Let's have a trial. Let's do it. James Comey reacting to being the first former FBI director to ever be indicted by a federal grand jury. He was charged with giving false statements and obstruction of a congressional proceeding and could face up to 5 years in prison if convicted. Let's bring in Fox News legal analyst Gregg Jarrett. Gregg, does it surprise you that 14 out of 23 grand jurors said go ahead with this case when President Trump's previous prosecutor said there's no case?
No, it doesn't surprise me because it seems to me that his deceptions were pretty obvious. And, you know, the false statements, obstruction charges are pretty straightforward, Brian. And if convicted, of course, up to 5 years in prison. You know, he allegedly leaked sensitive FBI material and then lied about it under questioning from Congress twice. 2017, again, he doubled down in 2020. And while testifying, Comey insisted, gee, I never authorized anybody else to anonymously leak. Well, several former FBI officials, including allegedly Andrew McCabe, James Baker, they're on record stating that Comey did authorize numerous leaks of sensitive information, some of it classified. And look, you know, in Washington circles, he was well known as a notorious leaker, often to sort of burnish his reputation, inflate his ego, but mostly to smear Trump. I think legally he's fortunate because he left behind a trail of other suspected crimes like lying to the FISA court, but, you know, the statute of limitations ran out a long time ago on that and many other suspected crimes. So, you know, he should say, gee, I'm kind of a lucky guy. Only 2 charges.
We got a lot on tape. Here's an example of what he said along the way. Listen.
Have you ever been an anonymous source in news reports about matters relating to the Trump investigation or the Clinton investigation?
Never.
Mr. McCabe, who works for you, has publicly and repeatedly stated that he leaked information to the Wall Street Journal and that you were directly aware of it and that you directly authorized it.
I stand by what the testimony you summarized that I gave in May of 2017.
So, I mean, he denied that, Andy McCabe. And we also know that he called his buddy at Columbia when he got fired. And he said, yeah, put this into an editorial in the New York Times because I'm hoping it results in a special prosecutor and an indictment. Why do you care? That's what you wanted to do. So you already know there's a synergy there. Yeah. Either he's totally detached and has no idea what's going on in his FBI, like the Queen of England, or he is lying.
Yeah, and it's interesting, you know, Brian, you make a good point that the grand jury actually considered but rejected a 3rd charge involving yet another suspected lie by Comey, you know, when he was asked by Lindsey Graham about, you know, the notorious plan approved by Hillary in 2016 to accuse Trump falsely of colluding with Russia. You know, in his answer, he claimed amnesia. And he said, gee, that doesn't ring a bell with me. And that's absurd. Of course, he remembers it vividly. He not only received personally a top-secret report on it from the CIA, then he attended this urgent meeting in the White House with Obama and Biden and Brennan, in which the CIA director was apoplectic, revealing Hillary's illicit scheme. Gee, what do we do? Well, they ended up concealing it. So, of course, he remembers it. But, you know, his answers often were evasive. During one congressional session, he said, I don't remember more than 200 times. You know, unscrupulous people do that to avoid perjuring themselves, but apparently he wasn't cautious enough.
Yeah, he didn't know Hillary Clinton was behind the dossier. He didn't know Christopher Steele was fired from the FBI. Didn't know anything. What was he doing during the day? Just going to the beach and making little shell diagrams? I'm not really sure. Gregg, everyone should read your book if they want to know how to prosecute this case and they want to know what this case is about because you talked about it. Thanks so much, Gregg. Appreciate it. Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.